Hey, paper lovers. It's Bess here from Lights Planner Action with a little bit of a shop update. I know I have not shown my face around here the way that I was even a month ago. I have been a little MIA and I wanted to kind of give you an update on where I was, kind of tell you what's going on, what's coming down the pipeline, because fast forward a little bit, it's a lot. And yeah, just give you an update on life. So, number one, where have you been, Bess? I was sick. I'll tell you what, first off, the sickness kicked my butt. So that's number one. And then number two is that in a post-COVID lockdown world, I really do take being sick seriously and I don't go out if I don't have to. And so I was basically on the couch for the last 3 weeks. Occasionally I was coming into the office to do things if I had to. Occasionally I was moving from the couch to my desk and doing some stuff from home, but for the most part I was trying to rest up and recover. And so thankfully I was caught up on orders and I have a very understanding customer base. So the few people who had emailed me in that time frame, I said, hey, I'm sick, but I will get to this as soon as I'm back in the office. They were super understanding. So I'm very thankful for that. Unfortunately, I don't have Alessa as my customer service liaison, that kind of middleman to manage my emails and make sure that everything behind the scenes stays running. And so it may have felt a little bit like everything came to a halt at LPA, and that's because it did, because it's just me. So if I'm sick, everything stops. But that didn't stop me from working on some new products and my Patreon. Obviously, Patreon is a monthly subscription, which means it's not something I can just not do. So I did make it into the office one day to create a ton of washi samples, which I'm going to show you that hyperlapse. And these samples are going out with all of the Patreon packages because we are doing a washi workshop. I'm really excited about this one. There's exclusive art for my Patreoners. So even though I wasn't feeling great, I did make sure to get that done. And I've also, as I mentioned, been working on some new stuff. Now, you may have noticed that every single other planner brand and their mother has had their launch announcement, or they're in their launch season. And if you're not familiar with planner community lingo, what is launch season? It's when the year shifts over. We go from 2025 to 2026. Launch season is when all the 2026 planners become available. And in a manufactured world, that means it's in stores and online, usually around September, sometimes August, September, October. That's kind of your launch season window. But since I make everything to order, I have actually had 2026 planners on my website since June of this year. I don't know if you caught that, but when I did my mid-year release this year, all of my annual planners, so that's the planners that include weekly and monthly pages. It's a full year coiled planner, although you can get it punched for rings. It doesn't have to be on a coil. But my full year planners, those were available at the mid-year launch season. At the mid-year release, I released it for those mid-year dates, and I also released it for the full 2026 because I wanted you guys to be able to get a leg up on the year if you wanted. You can also, by the way, choose any start date with our annual planners. So we don't really have to have a launch season. That said, I am doing a little launch next week on some new monthlies. If you have been a longtime LPA lover, you know I have offered the same set of monthlies every single year for like almost a decade now. And 2 of those monthlies aren't going anywhere. Don't worry, if you like the script monthly and you like the doodle monthly, calm down, they're not going anywhere. But the other 2 options, the regular and the monthly at a glance, while they do occasionally sell, they don't sell well. So rather than re-release those for 2026, I thought, let's do something different. I have had people ask me a bunch for the monthly from the Best layout to be available as a dated monthly. So that is coming to you for 2026, and also the monthly from the Queen Bee. So what's unique about both of these layouts is they each have something in the monthly squares. So rather than having blank monthly squares, one for each day of the month. The best is filled with graph lines, and the queen bee is filled with a dot grid. So it makes writing really nice and straight and putting lots of things in the box very easy. So people have been asking for those for a while, so I finally thought I would deliver on that. So there will be a little launch happening next Friday. This Friday, however, I am also launching 2 other products. What? Back-to-back launch weeks? Listen, I am trying to catch up on some things that people have been requesting for a while, namely those monthlies, but also I've been using a weekly planner for almost a year now that hasn't been available in the shop. And I gotta tell you, that has annoyed a couple of my friends who want to buy said planner. Jen, this one's for you. The planner that I have been using is a really great work planner. It's a 5-day weekly overview with space to delegate tasks at the bottom and space for you to jot down what's happening on the weekend, but the weekend is not a focus. Really, the weekdays are your main priority. And so that planner is being released this Friday, and I'm calling her the Marie because there's already a Bess, and since this is my own design, I was like, I can't name another planner after me. That's getting a little narcissistic. So let's name it after your grandmother, which is also kind of after me because my grandmother's name is my middle name. But anyways, the Marie is going to be available this Friday, and it is, like I said, it's a 5-day-a-week planner. It is only going to be available undated, but what's cool about this is the way I designed it for myself is that there are graph pages in between the weeks. So I am going to sell this planner both with and without those divider pages. If you don't need extra space for notes or quotes or journaling, you don't probably need those spacers in between the weeks, but if you are someone who would like that extra space, the graph pages in between the weeks for me is a game changer. I sometimes hesitate to write down notes on my weekly pages because I'm like, it's just a note. It's not going to be Instagram worthy. I hate to even say it, but it is true. I do think about those things. And having like a note page before and after is just like a game changer. It's like, oh, I want to swatch a pen. Let me just do it on the back of this page. Oh, I want to write down the phone number to something real quick. Let me just do it on this page. So it's also helped me stay on top of those little notes instead of them being on Post-its and getting lost. It's staying in my planner. So like I said, that is going to be available both with the graph pages in between it and without. If you get it with the graph pages in between it, a 40-page insert is going to net you about 10 weeks. And if you get it without the graph pages in between it, a 40-page insert is going to net you 19 weeks. Choose accordingly. The last thing that I am launching this Friday is a daily planner, journal, use it for whatever you want. It's a dated daily with basically nothing else but the date. It's just graph pages and the date with a monthly in between. I created it for myself because I wanted another place to journal. I've been on my junk journaling journey and I'm really still loving it, but sometimes I want to just word vomit, and I don't always want to do that in my junk journal because my junk journal is more of a creative, artistic expression. So I thought I would just create myself some graph pages that had a date on it so that it would hold me accountable to actually showing back up, because you know, sometimes we forget to do the thing, and that's okay. It's okay. You don't ever have to fill in every single page. I really don't believe that consistency means every day. It means every time you need it, right? But there is something to having a date to hold you accountable for those days in between. So I am going to release this as well. I don't think I've named her yet, so fun times. If you would like to help me name this daily, she is the most basic of bitches. So we can go with a very basic name, but I do have a lot of names already in the shop, so that also makes it tricky. But if you have any name ideas, feel free to drop them in the comments. Then you'll find out if I chose your name tomorrow when it drops. But I'm really excited about this. It's another one that people have been looking at me using it and going, where can I buy that? And I'm like, oh, this is from my secret stash. Because a lot of times I do that. I make things for myself that I don't always release to you guys. But then if I do share it on Instagram and people are like, where do I get that? It's like, please hold. So thank you for holding. And you will be able to get those coming Friday. The next thing I did want to mention is that I am having a new product release tomorrow and next Friday. And you might be thinking, new products, I want to shop, but we are getting close to Black Friday season. What is LPA going to do for Black Friday? And I want to remind you that I don't participate in Black Friday. It is a capitalist hellhole, and it forces small business owners, and I guess big business owners, but really just the small people that work for the big businesses. It forces them to have to work on the holidays, and I don't want to work on the holidays ever again. That's like never going to be for me again. So a long time ago, I started doing Gold Friday, which would happen a week or two before Black Friday, and it would allow me to still offer a sale, but to do it at a time that was less stressful for me. It is still going to happen this year. I'm not telling you exactly when because I don't want you to wait to shop until then. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to wait to shop until it's on sale. And if it's really in your budget and you need to wait until it's on sale, I get that. But I will also say I could really use the sales right now. This has been the hardest year of my shop owner life. I cannot stress enough how difficult this year has been. I know you're familiar with all of the shops that have closed down since the last time I told you that people were having to make some tough decisions. And it's just, things just keep getting harder. And I really could use the sales right now. So full disclosure, there is a Gold Friday coming, but if you can afford to shop in between those sales, it is so appreciated. Obviously, if you need to budget and make sure that you're only shopping during sales, I get that and I support that and I am not judging you at all. But what I am saying is if you can afford to, or if it's in your budget to support a small business now, I promise you we are appreciating it right now. We appreciate it always. I don't know, there's never a time that we don't appreciate it, but like this year has been so hard. I just can't stress that enough. But lastly, I did just want to give a heads up that the other thing that I am working on, in addition to working on new products and working on orders and working on all the other things that I have going on, I am also working on Chicago Planner Conference, woo, which is so much closer than I originally remembered it to be. Like all of a sudden, September is almost over and it's at the beginning of November. Yikes. So I am working on workshop prep. I'm working on swag. I'm working on my vending logistics. Like there's just a lot going on with Chicago and I am so excited. It is definitely the highlight of my year. I have been looking forward to it all season long and there are some really fun things happening behind the scenes that I'm excited to see play out IRL with my friends. And I really need a reason to go see my friends. I cannot wait to see like 600 of my planner friends under one roof. It's such a, I just can't. I need those vibes. I need those good vibes. I need them right now. I need them immediately, right now. So anyways, if you stuck around this long to listen to this whole update, I really want to thank you. It is you, my friend, that keeps me going. I got a DM today, actually, that was really touching, and this person shared that they were using one of my coloring books as a way to get their brain off of some tragic stuff that had gone on in their life, and they're dealing with the grief of that tragedy, and they're using my journals as a way to kind of get through some of those tough times. And I am just reminded of the fact of why I do what I do. Yes, it pays the bills, but journaling, being creative, coloring, taking your mind off of everything, there is so much value in that. And to be one of the purveyors of that value is really, something that I feel really lucky that I get to do, and also that people are magical enough to tell me when they're doing it with my stuff. That always blows me away. It always gives me chills, and it's the fire that lights the planners in action. You see, that was horrible. I should cut it, but I'm not going to. Listen, tomorrow's a new drop. I'm gonna get this video up right now. Stay light, stay bright, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.